Morning, Tango. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. I hope you're okay. Just making sure that everything's okay on YouTube. There we go. Right, so YouTube's up and running. We're all good there. Morning, Captain Corbin. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Driving but listening. Good lad. Good lad. Thank you, mate. I always appreciate your support. You put in the hours for me. I appreciate that. So, just looking to see where we are from last night. Obviously, I said we'd probably continue to trade sideways. We kind of did. We did dip below. Well, I say dip. We did come below 30.4. We came all the way down to 30k last night, but we're back up to 30.5, 30.6 at the moment. The hourly still looks like we're on the rise with the stochastic RSI, but the daily still suggests that, maybe we're going to have a slight pullback. So we'll see on that one. What's for breakfast? Crypto bites. Crypto bites are for breakfast. I'm done, mate. I have my Weetabix. Weetabix. 3-8. Phil, what are you doing up at 3:15 in the morning, buddy? I hope you're not working at that time in the morning. How are we doing, Nashi? Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're very, very well. I did get your message yesterday. I didn't look at it. I've got to be honest. I was tired and I just looked at it and thought, okay, I'll look at that later. But I saw that I read briefly that you treated yourself. I can't remember too much more about the message, so I'll go back in and check that out later on, buddy. So plan for today. Obviously, I've got the 9 to 5, but not for much longer, hopefully. But we've got I've got to film my top 5 altcoins video for YouTube. So if you're not already on YouTube, go check that out. The link is in the bio. Obviously, screen sharing there at the moment, but I'm going to do my top 5 altcoin picks for my long terms. A lot of you know what some of those are already, but there's one or two in there you might not know. Also, just going to keep an eye on Bitcoin, see what happens. The markets should be opening up anytime soon in the UK. The daily Bitcoin chart, I am expecting to maybe have a bit of a pullback, maybe come down and test the 29.5 levels. If that doesn't hold, maybe the 28.5 levels, somewhere around there. But I mean, Bitcoin on the daily does need a pullback. It's great if it can consolidate above 30k or even above 29.5. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to be too bothered. Kicking yourself, you didn't buy more DOT on the dip. No, I mean, you can't buy everything and you can't see what's going to happen. I mean, DOT bottomed out at $4.20. I know I didn't get the bottom, but I bought some at 4.40 and I bought some at 4.60. So I had 2 big buys on DOT near the bottom. If Bitcoin does take a big kicking, the altcoins will come down with it, and DOT won't be excluded from that pain. But yeah, I reduced my DOT DCA by about 25%, so I'm pretty happy with that. My DOT DCA was awful. I haven't bought a lot since the bull run, so my DCA was up over $20. So I've reduced that down now. I'm down to about $15 ish. So I thought I'd got it down to 14, but it's not. It's 15. So I'll probably be doing a little bit more. Obviously, I've got a lot of headway with Polkadot before I sort of really get into an area where I need to stop buying. I think the next area of interest for me with Polkadot is going to be what happens around about, where are we? Just for the benefit of those on YouTube. We're now really on Polkadot. We're really testing now an area of interest for me. If we can consolidate on the daily above $5.20, then it signifies we might have another leg up to about $5.50. I think that would be quite promising if we can do that. Polkadot for me is definitely a long-term hold. It is one of my favorites. It will be on the top 5 video. You all know that one's going to be there. But there's a nice channel on Polkadot on the daily chart that does go between $5.50 and $5.16. If we create that channel again, that would be absolutely magnificent. But the stochastic RSI is starting to dip down on the daily with DOT, so I would actually expect a pullback. How far and how long that goes for, I do not know. Short term, if we look at the hourly time frame on Polkadot, stochastic RSI is just bouncing around in the middle of the channel. So really, really difficult to tell what it's going to do on the hourly time frame. But it is slowly continuing upwards. It's setting higher lows each time, which is great. And if we carry on doing that, then we should see a small reset on the daily stochastic RSI, hopefully, maybe bringing us back down to about the $5 level again, and then seeing what happens from there. But as I said, if Bitcoin, if we lose Bitcoin's volume and Bitcoin dominance remains, DOT could be stagnant for a while, which it was guilty of for a long time anyway. Derivatives market has Bitcoin valued at 25k for this week. They are off 20%. Yeah, I mean it's there's a lot of things happening as well with Bitcoin as well. It's an interesting one because I think is it Nigeria are trying to make people use their new CBDC currency, and they're sort of getting rid of cash, but people are turning to Bitcoin. So people are paying a 60% premium for Bitcoin rather than letting the state know what they spend in the CBDC. So it shows you what kind of objection there might be from the general public about these CBDCs. But it's an interesting one for sure. Did you post China will... Did you see the post China will use XRP? I haven't seen anything about that. I mean, what I would say is obviously RippleNet and XRP have been associated with a lot of CBDCs. I think the whole idea of the RippleNet and the ODL corridor will make it truly international and used by everyone. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. We know that there's going to be a mixture of private and public enterprise, so the government will probably have its own CBDC, but it will use existing corridors and ODLs for maybe the transmission of those currencies. We'll have to wait and see. Like the advert with Apple's crypto only. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that advert was very, very good. It had a lot of views as well. I mean, it's just one that I literally saw on telly, and my wife said, "You know what? That would make a great TikTok." And I just posted it on TikTok and literally just left it as it was. It was very plain, very unedited, and it got really good views. So yeah, I mean that crypto only advert was absolutely brilliant. I'd like to take all the credit for it, but it wasn't mine. It was just an advert that I pinched. But it's interesting. We are starting to hear about crypto in the mainstream media now. We're starting to hear about Bitcoin. Celebrities have started mentioning it in general conversations and interviews. It's an interesting thing that it is being picked up more, which kind of shows that adoption maybe is coming, and it's an interesting time to be in crypto. Mark Zuckerberg's challenged Elon to UFC fight. I've got to admit it, actually, at that Battle of the Nerds, I would put my money on Elon. I think Elon would fight dirty. I mean, Elon's a slightly bigger guy as well. I think Mark Zuckerberg's he's a proper geek. But Elon, I think Elon would fight dirty. He's not afraid to mix it up, is he, Elon? So I'd put my money on Elon. Plus, he'd probably get in a badass trainer to sort him out as well, wouldn't he? Let's face it. I think Elon's got a few screws loose. With genius or no genius, you need a few screws loose to be a true genius. I think Elon would. I think Elon would just fight dirty, and he'd probably get him. Mark Zuckerberg trains. Yeah, the thing is though, Mark Zuckerberg, has he got a proper UFC trainer, or has he got one of these personal trainers that says, "Yeah, Mark, you're doing really well," as he lifts a 2 kg dumbbell? Go for it, Mark. Go for it. You got it. You got this. You got this. You got this. 2 kilos. Yes, got it. For the Americans, 2.5 pounds. But yeah, I think a lot of these billionaires and millionaires, their personal trainers will always tell them they're better than they actually are. At the end of the day, they want to be paid thousands of dollars by these billionaires to get the best personal training. Would I want to see that fight? I don't know. Would it be worth the money you'd have to pay to watch it? Probably not. It would either be a really, really poor fight, or it'd be over very quickly. One or the other. Either way, I'm not sure I'd want to pay for it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Damn. Now, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's serious stuff, man. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, you see some of the kicks that come out of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the force they get behind them is incredible. And I think there's a TikTok going around and it's going slightly viral at the moment about Brazilian jiu-jitsu kicks and the power they get behind them. It is incredible. Um, Only if I can get a dodgy stream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll watch it on YouTube or on TikTok. It would be a shit fight like the Beast and Thor. Handbags at 10 yards. The thing is, though, do you know what? I really wanted to watch Eddie Hall and Thor Radisson had that fight. But you kind of knew they'd be standoffish. Both of them have got absolute incredible power. If you took a full-on punch from them in the ribs, either of them would do damage regardless. The power they both shift. It was always going to be a delicately balanced fight. So it was just interesting for me to see two absolute giants in the ring trying to box. And you could see as well how, Eddie Hall was still so big and thick, he couldn't really punch properly, whereas Thor kind of had a little bit more mobility and a little bit more reach. So Eddie Hall always had it stacked against him. I think Eddie probably had the power, but he wasn't able to focus it and use it in the same way that Thor was. So it was an interesting fight, but again, it's probably not one I would have paid to watch myself because it was nothing. It was not a nothing fight, but they were always going to be tentative. It wasn't ever going to be like full on smash in your face, kind of like every 5 seconds is a Rocky round. It wasn't going to be like that, It was never a Rocky fight. Always going to be very standoffish. That's the problem, isn't it? They are both strongmen. They spent decades building themselves up as strongmen, and despite the training before the fight, they ain't gonna convert themselves from strength to fitness and boxing. Boxing is just another level of fitness. I mean, the amount of leg movement and arm movement and punching you got to do, 3 minutes is knackering. Doing that for several rounds, it's impossible. You can't go from a beast of a strength strongman to a boxer in weeks or months. You can't do it. It takes years to undo that stuff. Thank you for the follow, I Hodl Life. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the likes as well, Phil. Thank you very much. Keep those going. Appreciate the likes, people. I would beat Thor. The size of him, I could just reach his nuts. I told you someone would fight Dirty. I just didn't realise it'd be Nashi. But yeah, I mean, these, like I said, it's difficult to convert from one sport to another, but boxing is just another level of fitness. When you see these guys, properly boxing for 12 rounds and they're dancing around the ring and consistently punching, it's the fitness that's required for that. I mean, I used to play rugby and I admired footballers, but boxers would just be insane. I mean, the fitness level there. Rugby players, we got a degree of fitness and we're quite strong, but we got a degree of fitness. Footballers literally run the whole pitch for 90 minutes. So I was always kind of like, okay, you might be a bunch of wimps and you might be a little bit soft, but you can run for 90 minutes, fair enough, and maintain that leg control enough to kick the ball around. But boxing, no, another level. Any news on the thing you're doing? I'm still waiting to hear from the dev, man. I mean, the dev told me that things were going to be ready very soon, and I've had one message from them in like 2 weeks. So, usual thing with devs, they work at their own pace. Try it, it's bloody hard work, 3 rounds, yet alone 2. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I've thought about getting into boxing just for the fitness side. I mean, I'm 45. I've never done any kind of fighting kind of training or fitness training like that. So, and I know boxing is brutal. So just for the fitness side of it, I know boxing would be amazing. So yeah, and we have got a boxing place near me, to be fair. So I could go there. And I do need to do something, so we'll see. Do I hold Quant? Yes, I do. I quite like Quant as an overledger technology. We're seeing it being adopted by the BIS and Bank of England. Few partnerships there in testing. I do think it will follow through. We know that the CBDCs are going to have public and private parts to them, and I think Quant will be one of the private entities that helps the CBDCs in the UK and in Europe. We've seen Europe might be using XLM as well, but Quant is still there and good for an overledger. Do I hold XRP? Yes, I do. So my main holdings, in rough order, I've got Moonbeam Glimmer, which is a Polkadot layer 1. I've got obviously Polkadot. I've got MUX Protocol, which is an Arbitrum derivatives DEX. What else have I got? I've got XRP. I've got Quant. That's some of my bigger ones. But yeah, do I hold ETH? No, I don't hold any ETH or Bitcoin. I'm going to start accumulating Bitcoin when the price comes down, though. I said this before, but I've been so focused on getting my DCA on DOT down and stacking my Moonbeam bags that I haven't had the opportunity to get more Bitcoin in. But I'm not going to stack Ethereum. I think Ethereum is one of these ones we're making do until something better comes along, because Ethereum needs layer 2s. What we really need is something that doesn't need layer 2s, that is actually truly, scalable and secure, which is why I like Polkadot. I truly think Polkadot is a competitor to Ethereum and is better than Ethereum. It just needs that adoption. Do I hold Glimmer? Yes, I do, Lazy Turtle. Glimmer is my biggest bag. I've really been stacking Glimmer during this bear market, buying as much as I can. I do like it. Seen the new Cardano releases, looks very promising. I don't really follow Cardano, to be fair, but if they got new things on the horizon, I will have a look. The last time I heard that what they were doing, they had a couple of stable coins coming out and a privacy network. That was a long time ago. They did run up in price a little bit then, but then it just really sort of just fell back. Chainlink I like, but I do not currently hold, purely because I've got quite a sizable portfolio already. Chainlink's one of the ones that I want to buy more. Well, I've got a little bit of Chainlink. I said I don't hold any. I don't hold a lot. It's negligible. But I do want to stack more Chainlink when the opportunity arises. But I've got to reduce my DCA on Polkadot first. What's the max supply of Glimmer? Let's have a look. I think it's something like 10. Is it 10 billion? So I'm thinking a $4 token gives it a $4 billion valuation. So maybe it's a billion tokens. So there we go. So yeah, so total supply is 1 billion. There is no max supply. They can mint more, although there's no intention to do that at the moment. But yeah, the circulating supply is 677 million, and the total supply at the moment is 1.07 billion. The max supply, it is still mintable, as are a lot of these bigger projects. They're all mintable. The supply can be extended. But I like Moonbeam. The technology is very, very good. Bringing Ethereum across to Polkadot is a winner chicken dinner, in my opinion. Not many people are talking about Truebit. What are my thoughts? I don't know a lot about it, to be fair. I don't know what Truebit is. Any further SEC news regarding the named and shamed? Not really, no. I mean, I posted that TikTok a couple of weeks ago regarding 68 projects that had been named specifically by the SEC at some point as being a security. So whilst we had 13 recently with the recent Binance Coinbase lawsuit that got listed, there were 13 under the Mirror Protocol that also got listed, and then there's another 43, 45 that were named separately. Do I see Bitcoin Cash? It's crazy up. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash runs up strongly when there's a lot of bullishness around Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Cash has been doing very, very well. Last time I looked at it, it was up like something stupid, like 70% the other day. But let's have a look and see what it is now. So current market cap is 4 billion. Volume 861 million. 861 million is phenomenal. Circulating supply 19 million, max supply 21 million, of course, matching Bitcoin. So the price ran up from 106. It got all the way up to 217, to actually over 100%. So I must have seen it somewhere, maybe around here at the 70% mark, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's up 81% in 7 days. And looking at today's chart, it's a bit choppy and it is coming down. But even if you hold some of those gains, let's say that the chart steadies at 145, 150, that is still a spectacular 40% gain that holds. But we will have to just wait and see what happens when the markets start up again today. I mean, looking at the markets in general on the bubble chart today on the daily, Near Protocol's up, Monero's up, Polka Bridge is up, Cake, Vela Exchange, ARB and Stacks, but pretty much everything else on the list at the moment is in the red. In the last hour, though, everything is green. So actually, with the markets opening up today, it looks like the altcoins are going to do quite well. Bitcoin, just checking in with the chart now. Bitcoin is slightly down at the moment on the day. But if I zoom into the hour, we're currently at 30.3. So 30.3 is looking reasonable, but it has come down a little bit this morning. Stochastic RSI is still going up. Let's check out the volume. Volume's pretty average. Is it tailing off a little bit? Possibly. So yeah, Bitcoin's looking undecided, is what I would say. The daily stochastic RSI does need to come down, and it is starting to come down. Whether it stops at 29.5 or 28.5 remains to be seen. If it's a big sudden dip on an hourly candle, that stochastic RSI could reset and hold at 29.5. If it slowly bleeds, we'll probably bleed out to 28.5. And then we'll see what happens there. But the shorter time frames on Bitcoin are looking more positive. The 1 hour and the 4 hour stochastic RSIs are pretty much bottomed out. The 1 hour that is on the 1 hour is actually on the way up. So, but the 4 hours bottomed out. So really mixed messages. We don't know what's going to happen there. We need volume. We need news. We need the markets to open and start trading fully before we see what happens there. But altcoins at the moment, as I say, generally doing very well. Altcoins at the moment generally in the green on the hourly. So we got some big ones doing a few percent each at the moment, which is good to see. How come ARV jumped yesterday? ARV jumped yesterday with regards to the announcement of a stablecoin. So ARV will be providing some of the services, obviously facilitating the AMM services for that stablecoin. So their market cap jumped by, they were up 32% yesterday. So I think they went from something like $740 million market cap to $980 million market cap, to a $240 million jump in market cap. There's been some serious buy action going on ARV. Let's have a look and see if it's still holding that. Where's ARV? So ARV is still 27% up on the week. It's down 10% on the day. So again, like I said yesterday, we're seeing it's buy the rumor, sell the news event. So people got in early and they bought it straight away when they knew what was happening with this stablecoin. And now that we're seeing people possibly FOMO in, they're starting to bleed it and sell it out. So the early buyers that got that massive volume, they are starting to sell off. So that's normal though. You see a rally in price going from where were we? Let's have a look. So it went from price from $50 to $75. So it was up nearly 50% at one point. There's going to be people selling off and taking profits because ARV's not been in the news, but people who appreciate what they do on the Matic network absolutely love ARV. So I recently started adding Glimmer, A Star, A0, and Change Finance. I really like Glimmer, of course. I'm biased on that one. It's one of my biggest bags. A Star, though, it's great to hear that people are picking up on A Star. That's one of the ones that I got into in the Polkadot Parachain auctions in the bull run. Admittedly, it's not doing. I didn't get the rewards I actually thought I was going to get with A Star or any of the others. Would I do it again? Probably not. I'd probably just stake it. But A Star is performing very, very well. But one thing we've got to bear in mind is the tokenomics with A Star. The market cap's already fairly decent. The tokenomics, there's still a lot of tokens to hit the market. So I think A Star and these parachains, the tokenomics situation is going to be very interesting for a lot of them. Thank you for the follow. Shiba doesn't care. Appreciate that, buddy. TrueBit Protocol is off-chain technology made by ETH founders Jason T. Can't spell his surname. Okay, I need to have a look at TrueBit then because that sounds interesting. Off-chain stuff is always an interesting development. Did I invest in XRP? I do hold a bag of XRP. I no longer DCA into it. I do, however, do a spend reward card that gives me 4% returns. I'm not going to go into that too much, obviously, because I don't want to be seen to be shilling it. But at the end of the day, I earn that 4% on whatever I spend on it. And that goes on top of the pot. But I like Ripple technology. I like XRP. Court case be damned. I've been buying it since the bull run. So, my DCA My DCA has been bought down a lot during the bear market, but I haven't bought XRP now for months and months and months. But I have had lots of free XRP. Bitcoin just grabbed liquidity at the WPOC and looking for the end of Wave 5 to play. Daniel, you're clearly much more technical minded on the trading analysis than me. I'm a long-term investor. I'm not a day trader. So a lot of those terms just went like that over my head. I look at Bitcoin in terms of long-term entry and exit points for my altcoins. Is it a good time to enter or not? At the moment, I'm saying not, because we've had a few days of really good growth on Bitcoin and not a lot of pullback yet. So I'm waiting for a pullback before I put any more into my altcoins. But yeah, I mean, I think the point with Bitcoin at the moment is that there's a lot of people thinking they're going to start shorting it, and I think we'll see some big buys coming in to liquidate them. So I'm thinking Bitcoin might actually push up more, because the general feeling is it must come down. Dot was cheap for a while. Hope you got some. I did indeed. Yeah, absolutely. I think I got some at 440 and 460. So I managed to reduce my DCA by 25%. So it's absolutely brilliant buys. Is now a good entry point for ARB. I like Arbitrum a lot in terms of a project. What I am not doing is I am not buying Arbitrum. Generally, at the moment, we're at this 113 level. 113. And that's really kind of like a medium line. We need to see what plays out here today. I mean, if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you're looking at the screen, if I put a line straight across the middle, it basically sits at 110. We haven't really successfully broken up through that level. We've peaked above it and come back down on the daily. So until we truly break away from it, I think we're kind of playing to the downside soon. Plus the fact that Arbitrum's tokenomics aren't that great. And until we get into the bull run and it's load tested, we don't really know if it's a good network or not. Now, I love Arbitrum. It is my favorite layer 2 scaling solution, ZK rollups. It's a layered ZK rollup. So unlike Optimism, unlike ZK Sync, it's layered. So we've got more security with Arbitrum than we have the others. So you imagine it goes through these different layers of checks. That's why I like Arbitrum. But I wouldn't invest in it at the moment because of the tokenomics. Thank you for the follow, Dr. Dre. Appreciate that, Bunny. Thank you for the follow, Massi Andretta. Appreciate that too. Was the last bull run fun? Not for me, because I wasn't in the bear market before. So I started in crypto in the bull run. So I was buying at all-time highs, basically. And I've DCA'd into my favourites ever since. As I said, Polkadot, because of where I was buying it and I was putting it into the parachain auctions, my average on Polkadot was $20 a few weeks ago. And I've reduced that down by 25% now. I still want to reduce it further because I think my first sell target on Polkadot doesn't give me a healthy enough profit, and I don't want to sell at a loss. I do believe in Polkadot, and I believe it will come back quite strongly. But I'm not selling my Polkadot at a loss. But I need to reduce that DCA so that my profit levels are better. I'm taking the all-time high on Polkadot as being about $55, and on that basis, my first take profit target is about $30. So if I can get my DCA down to about $10, at least I'm making a 3x at that level on my first sell. Then it's 35, then it's like 44, 45, and then we'll see what happens after that. So I'm going to try and get my bag down to about $10 average. Once it hits 30, I'll probably sell about 40% of what I hold. Then I've made profit. And then I'll see what happens after that. But maybe 30%, then 20%, then 20%, and then the last 30 keep as a moon bag to see if we can do the fabled $50 to $100. Is anyone up on XRP and willing or thinking about cashing out? To be fair with XRP, I'm not cashing out, but I do not DCA into XRP anymore. I do not think it's worth doing at the moment. 50 cents, 40 cents, it's rather hard. My average is, I think I've got my XRP average down to about 44, 45 cents, something like that. I started buying in the bull run, so that's not bad going. I do think it's worth a lot more post-settlement. Win, lose or draw, I think the price goes up because of this pressure release. We'll have clarity at least. And there'll be a massive buying spree with whatever the actual verdict is in the end. But no, I like XRP, I like Ripple, but I just don't buy it anymore. I did sell a little bit quite a while ago, but I haven't really sort of sold the whole bag. What do I think about Relio Network? I don't really know what that is, unfortunately. Lazy Turtle, I do apologise. Do I think you'll be able to quit your job after this next bull run? I would say if I'd have been in the previous bear market, I probably would have been able to. I made some really good profit in that bull run, even though I joined in the bull run. Um, I think this bear market, I've set myself up very, very nicely. Could I quit my job from it? Possibly, depends. If it's a similar bull run to the last one, i.e., there's massive returns and the market goes crazy, then there's a possibility that I might be able to. However, I do think this next bull run is going to be somewhat more controlled and regulated to a degree. Therefore, maybe not as explosive as before. I didn't make any real money on meme coins in the last bull run. Mine was purely from utilities and pre-sales, and I'll probably be paying the same tactics again. So I don't need meme coins. I just need good projects, and generally they'll make me money because I'm investing in them in the bear market if they survive. So yes, I could make really good money. Is it going to be enough to quit my job? Maybe. What I would like to do is just earn enough to set myself up properly. Basically, I'm not. I'm not after. Well, I want life changing money to to be able to create that security blanket and maybe even do something like this full time would be amazing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's nice to have a job and have the bills paid. This is just prospective investment. I've always been open and honest. 2.5 years ago, I started in crypto with no savings, DCAing very small amounts. I did very, very well in the bull run. Got myself a nice little bit of capital behind me that I've used in the bear market to sort of DCA into and buy into projects that I like long term to hopefully do the same again. It's going to be exponential growth, hopefully. Gains squared. If I can do better because I've got more knowledge, great. But yeah, no one really knows how well their investments are going to do. All investments are prospective, but I'd like to think I'm very well positioned. Ava Furniture, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Took a punt on ARB. I mean, I don't need to take a punt on ARB. I did get the airdrop, and I sold nearly all of my airdrop. As I said, I don't want to hold Arbitrum. I think it's got a lot of dilution to come. I love the project. I just don't like the token right now. 30 on dot, and I'll be happy. My DCA dot is $6. That is absolutely fantastic. I like that. As I'd love to get my DCA down to $10. If I can do less, brilliant. But I can't buy a lot of dot to get there. As I said, I reduced my DCA by 20%, 25%, and I was really happy to do that at these prices. But if I can reduce it by another third, I need another serious amount of buys at around about $4 or $5. So I'm going to see how that goes. But yeah, I do like Polkadot. $30, I think, as well, is fairly realistic. You're not achieving all-time high. You're probably, you're only just over halfway to an all-time high. $29 is going to be reasonable. If we check out what was happening on Polkadot market cap wise as opposed to price action wise, which you should always do, you should always have a look at the market cap at the time of all time highs, because obviously token dilution does affect the ease of which you can get there. So the market cap of DOT right now is 6 billion, and it is 85% diluted, so that's good. They can mint more, but as I said, that's gradual. It's one of the reasons why things like Polkadot and Link and that can mint more tokens. You should really stake to try and offset that inflation. If we go to market cap, all-time high market cap was 53 billion, and the price at that time was $53. So we've got about 20% more tokens out there now. So it's going to be 20% more difficult to get to that target. So if we say our target's going to be 35, $40 billion market cap with the current tokenomics, that makes more sense as the $30 price target. It fits quite nicely with the Fibonacci retracement as well. So that's why I'm happy to sell. I'll sell about 40% of what I hold on Polkadot at $30. That will give me a nice profit, but I'll still have 20% to sell at $40, 20% to sell at $50, and I've still got then a 30% moon bag to see what happens after that. But if the price goes stagnant at around about $30, $35, I'm not afraid to offload. I'm going to take profits, which was one of the biggest lessons I learned in the bull run. I did not take enough profit. I could be so much better off right now if I hadn't have just hodled. And I'm not going to be hodling at the end of the next bull run either. I'm going to listen to the people that say it's the end of the bull run's here. I'm selling because I would have been I'd have been 7 or 8 times better off than I am now. I have lost all of those. Can I give you my top 5 coins? I'm going to make you wait for that. I'm actually doing a video today on my top 5 altcoins. That will be on my YouTube. So if you're not already there, do hop into the bio, go across to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That top 5 altcoin video will be dropping at some point today. Everyone knows that I love Glimmer, and I love Moonbeam, and I love Polkadot, but I'm going to be naming the other 3 that I absolutely love right now. What cryptos do I invest into for long term? So my long term holds are things like Polkadot, Moonbeam. I've got ICP as well, which is a very long term hold, but that's not on the top 5 of what I'm accumulating. So that's not going to get you any clues. Movie plugin, thank you for the follow. Andreas, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, buddy. What do I think will happen with Bitcoin? I don't know, is the absolute honest answer. Anyone that tells you that they know what's going to happen is an absolute liar. I think if you look at it from the technicals perspective, I'm expecting Bitcoin to pull back. The weekly stochastic RSI is heading up, but the daily needs to reset. So I think personally, Bitcoin might pull back a bit today. If it manages to reset the stochastic RSI, we could stop at 29.5. If not, I think it could be 28.5. Altcoins will follow it. But there's a lot of bullish news around at the moment with Bitcoin, ETFs and things. If we get more good news on Bitcoin, then hopefully we can break through that 31k barrier. If we break through that strongly enough, then we could see a very, very strong big piece of action. Because I personally think if we can break that 31k area, if we can break through 31k, there's a big gap to fill up to about where do I go? I'm going to say up to about 34 and a half. There's a bit of a big gap there. So we could see a big jump if we break to the upside. But I do think Bitcoin needs to reset a little bit first. So as I said, in terms of my long-term entry points, I'm holding off because I think there will be a pullback. I don't buy on green candles. And as far as I'm concerned, although this is the 3rd day of red at the moment, we've had massive green candles. So I do think any pullback could reset us quite nicely. And at the moment, the Bitcoin dominance means that any effect on altcoins is multiplied. So I'm holding fire at the moment. I think if DOT tidies up the SEC piece, it will reach a new all-time high and adoption increase. This is it. Polkadot's very well positioned. It's declared itself software as a service, which it did consult with the SEC on. However, that statement was not made by the SEC. It was made by the Polkadot team. So if they can get the SEC to confirm that they are now currently a software as a service and not a security, they're in a very strong position. There will, of course, be an issue with the fact that they kind of held their hands up and said, we launched as a security, we were a security, but we're now software as a service, so everything's okay. It's not going to be okay. There will be fines and things to pay. But, of course, ongoing, they should be free to trade. When do I go live? Generally Monday, Tuesday mornings, some evenings. I need to make it more regular. I know I need to actually do a schedule. I need to do it. If I'm going to pick this up and do it properly, I need to create a schedule. But Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Thursday or Friday evenings, and generally on the weekend at some point as well. I do go live quite a lot. But if you join the Discord, I'll always announce it in there as well, so you get that announcement. What price do I see Glimmer in the next bull run? It depends how bullish you are on it. I'm very, very bullish, but I'm not being carried away with it. You know, some layer ones in the bull run last year were doing 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 billion in market cap. I don't need Moonbeam to do that. Realistically for me, I'm taking the actual all-time high of Moonbeam as being around about $6. I'm ignoring the launch because the launch was just ridiculous. It was overpriced. It's towards the end of the bull run. People got very carried away. So I'm taking the all-time high of $6. So my first sell target is around about $3.10, $3.20, and then $4, and then $5. They're my targets. Now, if I sell 30, 40% at $3, I've made a shit ton of money. I've got a lot of Moonbeam. But to get there, fully diluted, that market cap only needs to be $3 or $4 billion. So price-wise, I'm expecting at least $3. I think realistically, it could push 10. $10 billion market cap for something like Moonbeam is not to be scoffed at. Moonbeam basically brings Ethereum and Ethereum developers across to Polkadot. So anything that Ethereum developers can build on Ethereum, they can build on Moonbeam, and they can also then use the Polkadot Oracle services and wallets and all that kind of stuff. So it's more scalable than Ethereum as well. So it just makes sense that you can build using Ethereum tools on Polkadot. It's the best of both worlds, and I don't see any negative to that. So I just think it's a brilliant project with two great projects, Ethereum and Polkadot either side. I personally think Polkadot is better than Ethereum, but it hasn't seen the adoption. And Moonbeam could open that door. eGold, any thoughts? Not really. I don't really know too much about it, I'm afraid. BlackRock probably short Bitcoin so they can buy it cheaper. More than likely, absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of that manipulation going on. And whilst it's an unregulated environment, that will be happening. For you, Bitcoin's a long-term hold. I only really had one cheap one and one at 45k, so need a bull run. Yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin's definitely a long-term hold. I'm not too worried about the price action of things long-term that I hold. Long-term, I'm pretty confident that what I hold, I believe, will be successful, but we don't really know. But Bitcoin's like basically, it's the daddy, isn't it? It's about as safe as you can be in crypto. Of course, that's not financial advice, just my opinion. But Bitcoin and ETFs are happening, so there's very little chatter about it being a security because, of course, it's not security. It's proving itself as an edge against inflation. People are retreating to it like an asset, like a gold or a silver or anything else, or oil. People are using Bitcoin for what it was intended, and I think long term that's a great sign. Bacon Sandwich, welcome, buddy. You got your first thematics bag last week. I mean, thematics is a brilliant thing. Anyone who doesn't know, we had Swissborg in for an AMA in the Discord. My Discord's completely free. The link is in the bio. We had them in for an AMA, and they went through their auto invest features and their thematics. You can basically do what is in effect a mini ETF. It's a Web3 ETF. They've got all sorts in there from Polkadot, Moonbeam, and everything else all mixed in for a Web3, and they manage that kind of ETF, that bag for you. And they shuffle the pack and do all of that. So Swissborg is an app that I really like. It's the only investment platform that I'm personally investing in at the moment. And I am very bullish and very biased because I do hold shares. I have invested in it. I do hold the tokens. I do yield invest. But please feel free to check it out. The AMA is recorded. It's in my Discord. Please do some research. And if you do fancy it, the link to Swissborg is in my bio as well. And there is a little bit of a sign-on bonus if you do. What are we selling? I'm not selling anything right now. Quant will breach 1K next bull run. It's possible. We saw it do $400 in the last bull run. We're going to have a lot more marketing exposure. We're going to have a lot more public awareness, a lot more utility. For me, realistically, I'm saying $600 to $800 conservatively for Quant in the next bull run. But I think long term, four figures is realistic. It's only got a maximum supply of 14.5 million. So you get to $1,000, it's a $14.5 billion market cap, which is reasonable. I think that's a reasonable expectation. Will you be on Pepe? I'm not going to be doing any Pepe. Yeah, just take a look at Moonbeam. Just have a research of it. It's really clever stuff. It enables developers to literally build an Ethereum project on Polkadot. That's all it does. And if you wanted to do something similar, you could say, okay, Moonriver and Kusama. If you wanted to build on Kusama network, you could use Moonriver. It's a canary network for Moonbeam too. So if you build on Moonriver, you can kind of like test things out and move across to Moonbeam. So Moonriver and Moonbeam, I think we'll see a lot of use case and development. We are seeing Polkadot and Moonbeam and Kusama really explode in terms of development activity. We've seen it top GitHub developer activity charts for a few weeks now. So very, very, very bullish on Moonbeam. So please do research it at least. If you find any negatives, come back and ask the questions. I struggle to find negatives. I always look at the positives. So I like it when people come back and question it and saying, well, what about this? Because it's something that I may well have overlooked or just didn't know. Best way to buy Glimmer, I mean, if you go onto coinmarketcap.com or CoinGecko, research the Glimmer token on there and check the markets, it will tell you all the places it's available. It's on most exchanges now, but yeah, just do your research and check it out. It's all cool, all good. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons. Yeah, and that's a really good point, JJ. I don't hold Bitcoin because I want big ROIs. Bitcoin is safe and steady. It's probably going to do quite well. Long term, who knows what size it could be and how many X's it could give us. But in terms of the next bull run, I want relatively small market caps that have potential to do 10, 15, 20X there and then. I don't want to wait years for that. I want to build that capital as quick as I can. Because make no mistake, after this bull run, I think we're in a very different marketplace altogether. I think it's going to start changing before that bull run anyway, but we'll have a little bit of that kind of like explosive action still and volatility in crypto still. But I would look to. I'm treating this as the last big bull run, is basically what I'm trying to say. And things like XRP, Ripple, XLM, XDC, things that are used for ISO, banking, and payment systems that have utility, they'll survive and they'll carry on. But this volatility, these sudden 100% gains in a day, that will start going away in a regulated space because they have to do things properly. Biggest holding is Moonbeam and Monero Net. Is it not Monero Network? It's Morpheus Network, MNW. Yeah, I like Morpheus. I don't hold any yet, but I do really like Morpheus Network. It is very, very good. So definitely looking to get into that at some point. But as I said, just focusing on my own bags right now. The likes of Polkadot, I need to reduce that DCA. But no, I like that. I like that Dreamer. I think Moonbeam could be a really good one. Moonbeam predictions. I mean, just looking at the Fibonacci retracement, I'm taking the all-time high of $6, not launch. So Fib retracement gives us an initial sell target of $3.10, then $3.83, and then $4.80. I'm expecting $4, but I will take profit at $3-ish, and I'll make that. That will be my profit. I will take profit at $3. But I will keep 70% of my tokens for further price targets and further sales, because I do like Moonbeam. I think, and as I said, I'm not being ridiculous with the market caps either. As I said, layer ones in the last bull run were doing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 billion, but we saw how incestuous and fictitious some of that trade was. So I'm saying with Moonbeam, do I think Moonbeam can get to $4 billion market cap? Yes, I do. I think it can get there realistically. If it does, it's a $4 token, fully diluted. So I don't think my expectation there is completely unrealistic. I mean, hell, at the price it is at the moment, if it gets to $2, if it gets to a $2 billion market cap, which is tiny for a layer one smart contract platform like that, I'd still make a shit ton of money. So yeah, I'm still stacking Moonbeam. If you want to know what small cap coins I like or what altcoins I'm buying, there's going to be a YouTube video dropping today. So make sure you hop across to YouTube, follow me there. Once that video drops, you'll be the first to see my top 5 altcoin picks that I am buying and accumulating in this bear market. I won't do it on TikTok because it deems it financial advice, and if I get maliciously reported, I don't get my account back. I have XRP years or decades. Yeah, XRP will take a long time to make any returns if we don't see the end of this lawsuit. When do I think the next bull run will start? Probably 2025. Significant ROI in alts and invest in Bitcoin for more security long term. 100% crypto Erie. Absolutely bang on. That's exactly what I want to do. We've got the risk versus reward scenario right now, but that reward is going to start reducing for the risk. So we start heading to something more secure. And that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. All of these altcoin market caps are probably going to condense into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then probably just Bitcoin until we get confirmation of what is or is not a security. Hey, Jay, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that. So yeah, if you just hold ETH and Quant, I think they're good. Ethereum, as I said, I don't think is the best technology out there. Ethereum, you need layer 2s. As soon as a layer 1 comes along where you don't need layer 2s, Ethereum is done. But Quant overledger technology is fantastic. I do like that a lot. Have I got Swissborg on the Discord? Yes. So the Swissborg recording is on the Discord. If you go in there and you type hashtag Swissborg, you should come up with AMA recording as one of the channels, and it's in there all on its own, along with my link, of course. As long as with my referral link. But yeah, and the AMA is there. It's recorded. You can listen to the whole thing, and it is a fantastic AMA. They tell us all about the app and what their plans are and what it can do. Thoughts on XLM? XLM for me has always been like XRP's little brother. We have had confirmation or apparent confirmation that XLM is probably going to be used by the euro, which isn't a surprise. It's a great one. But XLM for me, I mean, I don't want to make a prediction on it because I don't know it as well as other products. But if we just say it does half its all-time high, it could see 40 cents again, and that's a good return. Right then, folks, I am going to have to wind it up there. I do need to get going. I appreciate you being here. I will speak to you all again very soon. As I said, please do hop across to YouTube, follow me there. A video will be dropping today on my top 5 altcoins that I am actually accumulating in this bear market, not just ones that I like, ones that I'm accumulating. And I will see you over there very, very soon. Take care, and I shall see you all later.